for a long time, my life looked completely fine from the outside, but it didn't feel that way on the inside. I was living in my dream location. I had worked very hard to get to live in a town that I aspired to for a very long time, Laguna Beach, California. It's absolute paradise. I had a good job, meaningful work, fabulous friends. I traveled, I had adventures, had a lot of really great things going on. But on the inside, I just was feeling just done, tired, burnt, stuck. I was feeling at a low, but I kept moving. I kept like going through, I was living my life on autopilot, and I didn't really realize the damage it was doing until I started to listen to the cues that my body was giving me. And it was it was giving me signals that something wasn't right. Now, I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing to live a good life and to build a good future, and just wasn't really I wasn't really checking in with how I was feeling about it and whether I felt like I was in alignment. All I knew is that I was ambitious, I was busy, I was productive, and so it looked like I was accomplishing a lot, but I started to notice, like, my energy, it was down more often than it was up, and that it was hard to pull myself out of low times. I just was really struggling. I wasn't getting the same joy out of things that I used to enjoy. When I thought about the future, I didn't feel positive or excited or passion. Like it just was really, really empty. And as I've been sharing my recent journey here on this platform, I have been hearing from you and many, many others like you who are in a similar state emotionally for different reasons. I mean, there's some commonalities, obviously, to what we're experiencing, but for a lot of us, what brought us to this point is very different. So it depends on each person's circumstance. But what I want to say and what I've been trying to say in some of the comments is you might not be able to see it now because you're in the depth of it. And I just remember when I was like that. And I even remember, expressing it to my therapist at the time that I just couldn't imagine a future to aspire to that I was excited about. And I couldn't imagine a time that I would pull myself out of that or that things would get better, brighter, lighter, etc. But that's absolutely what happened. And when now that I'm out of it and I'm on the other side of it, this has been like a 3, 4 year journey that I've been on. And and when I look back on what it took, it did take a lot of inner work. It took reframing how I saw things. I saw myself as a failure because there were things that I hadn't achieved that I quote was supposed to. Not married, no children, was feeling very much less than a woman. And I did a lot of work on that. And how did I do it? It was seeking out other women that I could aspire to that would be on that had been on similar paths to me. And it was a lot of reading, a lot of soul searching, a lot of getting back to my true self of who I am on the inside, going back to maybe even my inner child. But it started with a decision. It started with a decision of this doesn't have to be like this. This doesn't have to be my future for the next however rest of my life. I didn't have to continue this way, even though I wasn't ready for the big shift of retirement. There had to be a way to make life better now. So what shifted for me is, I mean, for me, if you followed me here, you know I took a sabbatical. I did a lot of healing. I'm thinking even if I hadn't taken that sabbatical, I still would have needed some time and space to heal, to clear my mind, to think about who I truly am and what I truly want. And doing that through, a spiritual journey, really pursuing who am I spiritually and what are my beliefs, looking at my connections of the people that are in my life and that I want in my life, and then just looking at how I'm spending my time. So I had to look at all of those areas and really get some clarity around it. Once I did that, so it's now been the last 3 years have been brighter, lighter, easier, full of joy. I can remember my perspective back then, but I also don't see it through that lens at all anymore. I don't have the same level of grief around how my life has turned out thus far, and I don't have the same level of fear about the future. It's really about feeling connected to where I am right now and the present. And for many of you, if you are in a place where you are deeply, deeply unhappy and you are unsure what to do about that, or you feel like there really isn't anything that you can do about that you can do about it, you don't have to figure it all out at once. And you don't have to figure it out all by yourself. And it doesn't take massive change. It doesn't take blowing up your whole life. It can be just little tweaks. For me, what was funny, like it, it I thought what I thought was going to happen was I would take this sabbatical, I would get some healing and clarity, and then I would pursue whatever like my next career would be, or wherever I would settle down to live, or what I wanted to do with relationships. I figured that I would come to like a final decision and then make that happen at the end of the sabbatical. That's not what happened. What happened was I I felt better at the end of the sabbatical. I felt healthier and clearer, and I felt open to seeking joy and making it happen. It was letting go of a destination, of a final, this is what I've got to get to, this is what I've got to do. I did not think my nomadic journey would go on as long as it has. I really thought that I was being nomadic to find a place where I ultimately wanted to settle down. I thought that would maybe take 6 months, a year tops. And this month, it'll be 4 years that I've been living this nomadic lifestyle. And the thing that it's taught me the most has been living in the moment and sucking the life out of each moment and each day. Every time I'm in a place, I'm in a place for X amount of time, usually no more than a month, 2 months, maybe a couple of months. I'm gonna take full advantage of where I am. I'm gonna connect with anybody in the vicinity that means a lot to me. I'm gonna learn about the area. I'm gonna enjoy everything that it has to offer. And that has kept me optimistic and happy and bright and all the things. And as I've been on this journey of sharing with you, one of the things that I've been enjoying the most has been connecting with other women on similar paths. And we're all at sort of like different phases of the path. I mean, there's many of you that are exactly where I was 5, 6 years ago. There are many of you that are in the process of rebuilding and healing and, you know, figuring out that pivot. Like some of you are really like in the meat of that. And then there's some of you that are on the other side of it, similar to me. And there are portions of you that have that this hit hasn't happened to you. Like you've been fully happy and you've been building a life and you're going along in your life and you're building it and enjoying it and it's going well and it hasn't been an issue for you at all. And that's beautiful to see too. One of the things that I've loved has been connecting with each of you who are coming at this from a different place. And that is one of the reasons why I launched these monthly coffee chats that I've been having with Gen X women. Second Sunday of every month. It's complimentary. We get together and we have real conversation. I usually have like a couple of conversation starters, but not, not superficial, and not super, super deep, but thoughtful, meaningful conversation starters. And then we see where the conversation takes us from there. And we've enjoyed sharing our stories. I've enjoyed hearing everybody else's stories. I've enjoyed being there for other women who might be in a struggle right now. I mean, what I've been hearing, there are women who come to these chat who are struggling with something right now, and our conversations, our coffee chats are great distractions for them and great mood lifters for them. So each time we've done it, it's felt really, really nice. So if you're interested, check it out at genxwomencoffeechat.com. And yes, this Sunday is the second Sunday of the month. And yes, this Sunday is Mother's Day. And I had a couple people ask, oh, well, are we still doing the coffee chat because it's Mother's Day? I will say yes, that is part of the regular schedule. So I'm going to have the chat anyway. And I'm going to share with you why. I'm not a mother, and there was a season in my life where Mother's Day was extremely challenging for me, because I was in the depth of grief over not being a mother. And I know that there are many women who are challenged on this day, either because of their own experience or, wanting to be a mother and not, or whatever that experience is, or their mother's no longer here, or they have had a complicated relationship with them, whatever the reason. Yes, it's also a day of celebration, which I don't, nothing that I do could possibly take away from that. It's all about the moms on Sunday, and all about my mom. I'm looking forward to, I won't get to see her, but I will get to talk to her. So not saying that I don't want to celebrate moms, but I do want to have a space that is available on Sunday, whether you're a celebrating mom or whether it's a difficult day for you, as a nice distraction and a nice way to connect with other Gen X women. So I am humbly inviting you to join in on these conversations. It is a great reminder that you're not alone, and there's strength in our numbers. There's strength in our sharing. I mean, I struggle to put it into words, but it seems like when we have our coffee chat at the end of our hour together, it's just an hour, but at the end of our hour, the feeling of hope and possibility and connection is just strong. It's just there. You can just feel the energy. So if this speaks to you in any way, if you are on any point of the path as we navigate these pre-retirement years, then I invite you to join us this Sunday or the second Sunday of any month at genxwomencoffeechat.com. I forgot to tell you, but my name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X big sister. Look forward to seeing you Sunday, and I'm signing out.